And they got some guapos down there tripping, but I got my baby girl not walk through here. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Rise and Grind Morning Show here on Radius Radio at Arrows Independent Studios in Albuquerque, New Mexico, the fabulous 505. I have a guest appearance this morning again with me, Seglinda Guerrero.
What up, what up, what up?
And also we have another individual here stepping in. I've known this gentleman for quite some time. He's doing some different things now out here in the community, trying to bring some actual consoling to individuals who might not necessarily all the time get those opportunities, but in a value for the youth to continue on with their production, their self-worth, and their future goals and aspects and some of the dreams. My special guest appearance, I'll allow him to introduce himself with you. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing great. Good morning, everybody. Peace, love, energy, good vibrations, good frequencies. We are infinite. My name is Shakir Farid Abdullah, and I'm here.
Right on. Nice to have you on the show. Good looking out. It's good to see you again as well.
Yeah.
Listen, I particularly have some issues, actual personal, not to be stupid about them, but with some situations of, we were actually first-hand witness to some police brutalities that are taking over overwhelmingly, not only here in New Mexico, but abroad. I mean, I just don't see it. We have officers out here with justified shootings, murders. Me and Celinda, we had brought this apart a couple of times that she's been on my show. The atrocities of the police actions, inactions, the justifiable injustices that they portray. And I mean, just honestly, if I was to pull, or any of us were to pull some bullshit like this, we'd be looking at a 25 to life, even if half of what that shit is being pulled by those who are paid and hired to so-called protect and serve the community, as opposed to coming through on a genocide and wiping us out.
We call them modern day slavery, or modern day lynchings.
And as Ms. Guerrero stated, I mean, it is just an actuality of the flip of the clock, just 100 years ago, where all these things were taking place previously. And you know, they say history repeats itself, but goddamn, I mean, let's just keep it real. This is a whole different level here. We've been looking actually into some situations. You know, don't always believe everything you see on the internet. So, being that fact, we wanted actualities firsthand before we came into these segments, now that me and Miss Guerrero have agreed upon to try to fit in with her schedule and move towards the positivities through the negativity. Don't think that we're coming here just to knock any individual that is brought about. All we are trying to do is voice an opinion, give others the opportunity to voice their opinion. Actually, before I go any further, if you would care to report on any of the situation going on during my show, request line or anything, or during these segments of any which one on the Rise and Grind Morning Show or any of the other shows, you can contact us at 505-503-6991. Don't forget, back to what I was saying is,
Please say something. Please say something.
you know, it's hard to not be so negative in situations such as where individuals can't even walk out their fucking door because of their color, their race, or even without that, because of a motherfucker wearing a badge who got a gung-ho attitude about his approach to his day on his job. You know what I mean? I'm very overzealous about my job. I love my fucking job. Anyone who knows me, I've said that for years. And my job continued to progress and allow me opportunities that I might not ever have had, but I had spoke about getting these things done for years. And anyone who actually knows me can attest to the actuality of that fact. I'm not here to knock some shit or put someone down or play some little fucking high school games on fucking Facebook with some big shit that has nothing to do with us.
Not even.
Or then bring somebody else out into it that ain't got nothing to do with them either.
Yeah.
I'm talking about actualities of fucking real life that our children, our grandchildren, our mothers,
our
fathers,
people, our community.
They are
our
targeting
entire
us.
communities
They are targeting
are
us.
being subjected to by the irrationality
It's more than that.
of some so-called, you know, not all of the hoodahs are bad. Don't take me wrong. I have run into a lot who gave, you know, they did their job in a professional manner. So don't take me wrong. There's good and bad in everything. Pero sabes como, excuse me, the majority, man, they need to get their head and the ass wired together. But what makes it worse is when we have political officials, legislative individuals, high-level politicians who allow these atrocities to take place when they're supposed to be helping their people by being in those offices. Then, you know,
they're supposed to be public
somebody
servants.
fucking got to open up their goddamn eyes.
It's time to hold them accountable.
Let's go.
Very much so.
Let's go.
Susana Martinez has continued here in the state of New Mexico. For those of you who don't know, we are broadcast worldwide satellite. So here, particularly in New Mexico, where we can actually experience what we are speaking of at this moment, our present governor on her fucking way out the door, goddamn, I'm so glad for that. This lady has not done anything for the children, the people, or anyone in the state of New Mexico since her term in office.
That's right.
I mean, nothing. She has only manifested her platform for her political gain in her term. I mean, she has constantly and continuously came out with the weirdest shit on some fucked up levels, killing bills for children's education, art, homelessness situations, the poor. She's
Inmates,
exactly. Trying to push death penalties. I mean, you know, I can understand certain things there. Okay, we won't go back into that one at this
cutting
present time.
programs, taking lump sums.
Things of these natures.
Why?
We're going to go back into where it's most recently, this so-called governor, she tried passing and putting into law to give police here in New Mexico immunity. Now, I mean, this bitch is as crazy as Donald Trump's fucking ridiculous ass.
That's right.
And, I mean, I don't see the lady even, but anyway, she's out the door. My point to bringing all those things up is these police are being allowed to come out here through these government officials all over. It's all over. It's not only here in New Mexico. It's in Texas, Arizona, New York, Florida, Portland, you know, Oregon. It's everywhere. It's broad based. We're not just singling out these, but you know, these individuals are supposed to come in and prosecute these cases to be accountable, no matter which way you go about things. They just recently had this a shooting here, I believe in California. I just most recently, they shot the individual 21 times.
Stephon Clark, say his name.
Stephon Clark. There you go. I couldn't actually remember it. Thank you, Ms.
Yep.
Guerrero. See, that's why
Stephon
Bugs
Clark.
with her. That's why she's here. She helped me with these things. Make sure my
Beautiful
hair's
black
done right and
Muslim
everything.
man.
But on a real level, that's overkill. You know, that is beyond overkill.
Also, he was unarmed, and they shot him in the back.
In the back.
In his own yard.
At his grandma's house, and it was a Muslim family, and it's important to understand that culture.
We won't get into the racial parts right at this time. It makes no difference. White, black, purple, red, I don't give a fuck. It's happening to us. We won't bring that, not clowning on this level, but that part we're going to leave out of the equation because that's what they're doing to us. So I prefer to leave that out from our our rhetorical, where we're going, so that we're not, so where we remain biased in what we're talking about. Because we just need to bring this to people's attention and see, though. I mean, there are rallies out here. There are community activists. There's Miss Guerrero, for example. She pushes out here, I mean, in the trenches, like I stated, those open people's eyes and get them to participate in other things that can, at least we can make some sort of change, or at least have our voices heard, if nothing else.
We're organizing for power.
And, we ain't looking for a revolution and shit per se, but, we just say, well, we won't get it. Well, that's a later day. That's
Celinda is.
You know what I mean?
We are the revolution.
We are the revolution.
But yes,
Yeah.
pretty much. I mean, we're not trying to bring that, like, looking into those situations like that. But what we are trying to do is give our people a voice, where we don't have to, we get on the news media, oh, crime is rising, and I'm scared to leave my home.
It's rhetoric.
We need to stop this gun violence. You know what? That's what they want you to fucking do. And they have these people so fucking twisted that they believe these are actualities of necessity. We got 5-year-old little kids in elementary schools saying they have feelings and they are not sure of their gender. What the fuck is wrong with you people? Are you fucking not realizing, you need we won't go into that one yet, but what my point is, there are big problems out here. Not whether your fucking son doesn't know if he's a fucking girl or a boy and has to go pee with everybody else to figure out where the fuck he's at. Put his little ass in check and fucking slow him down, and he won't be one of the individuals.
Yeah, but hold on.
He won't be getting the ones shot with these little people out here like this. That's just plain and simple. So then that comes into play where these people have it so twisted that to keep you away from the actuality of the atrocity that's taking place by them. Here in the state of New Mexico, I was notified the other day of a couple of situations that was an actual affidavit and a motion set into the court
from February 2016 to December 2016.
Here in the state of New Mexico, where like the police can do some really fucked up shit in certain things. Now we know how the play is and what goes on and things of this nature. I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna slide this to Miss Guerrero. I'm gonna let her go from here and kind of bring some of these other things to the surface and bring to you guys some of the insights that she's particularly involved in with this particular this segment. And go ahead.
So what's going on? And it's been going on for some time, but now we have the actual affidavit that was passed in court with our DA's office, in coordination with the mayor and other political officials, that allows APD to take dope from the streets, reprocess it, and then sell it back out into our communities, and then arrest us and target us for under the context of the failed drug war. And so the reason that these things are important is because this is a legitimate attack on our community. These things are happening in our community. These things they're attacks. And so there's so much that goes to this, right? So like when you think about, what does it mean when police are selling the dope in our community? What does that mean? That means that now they want to be upset because we have addicts in our neighborhoods. They're upset about crime, and what they're doing is they're manufacturing the crime that they're accusing us of. Yeah, and so it's important to recognize that they are the drug manufacturers. They are the biggest dope dealers, the biggest gang that exists in our community. And then they want to flip it and incarcerate us behind it. And they are the ones that are actually manufacturing the crime in our communities. And we have the affidavit here. I've been putting it on the camera, so anybody who's watching on Facebook Live right now can read it. We'll post it. And number 10, for example, number 10 reads, the heroin, methamphetamines, crack cocaine, and or cocaine to be used for this operation will be from APD cases, which have already been adjudicated. The evidence was set to be destroyed. The heroin, methamphetamines, crack cocaine, and cocaine will be released from APD's evidence unit. Powder cocaine may be taken to APD's criminalistics unit to be made into crack. Do you feel me? They are making crack.
Yeah,
they are the APD.
Yes.
The drugs used will be similar in size to those sold in the street level sales. All heroin, methamphetamines, crack cocaine, or cocaine removed from APD's evidence unit will be field tested prior to reversal. Now, the other thing that we have concerns about is since they are manufacturing their own dope and we have masses of overdoses happening in our streets, it's just another mechanism for them to kill our people. And so we are being attacked, our people are being attacked from all angles. And I want Shakir to speak a little bit more to that because he is on the streets, on the ground, and he has actually rolled up on APD before watching this shit happen.
Go ahead. And thank you for giving me this opportunity, but if you just give me a moment just to kind of go off real quick. And there's some important things to be said. And it's important to know like what's really at play. And it's important to know that the components of the Bildungsberg group is at play. There's a darker force, there's a darker matter, there's a darker energy that is seeping through like our whole governing system, right? And it's coming through, it's being facilitated through these measures. And you understand?
You spoke of an organization. What was the first one you said? Through the
I think it's called like the Bildungsberg group. Okay. And it's this select group of persons that literally governs all the societies of the world. And I know that's heavy stuff, but this is important always to say that. And it's also very important to say this, that we as adults, when it comes to the issues and the matters and concerns of our children, especially when children express themselves or anything of themselves, it's important that we do not dismiss their thoughts or their feelings or emotions or however they're trying to express themselves, that we encompass that and we embrace them wholly, no matter what their age, because we live in a state and age that if we condemn our youth on anything that they vibrate out, it has this butterfly effect that'll come to us disastrously. And that is what we see today. So now back to this right here. APD has the ability to sell dope on our streets. And what I'm just came here to link to is on this paper you're going to see on the back page, you'll see that it's by the 2nd District Judge. It's signed by a 2nd District Judge. The detective was Mark Klingenpeel. All right? The district attorney was on this. So if the second district judge was on this, if the district attorney was on this, Albuquerque City Council had to be notified, the state auditor had to be notified, the lieutenant governor, the congresspersons, and the senate persons all knew this. And you see, people didn't understand that we, people of color, we who are oppressed and targeted by the system, that we do not have the resiliency, that we do not have the capability to come together. Regardless of religion, sex, and gender, we are not homophobic. We are not Islamophobic. We are not transphobic. We are humanity first. That's why you're doing what we're doing. And sometimes we may fall off calibration, but we're here to always pull each other up and recalibrate this stuff because that's why they're killing us. Right? So it's important to understand how did this happen, because Tim Keller was the state auditor. On the Albuquerque City Council, they had that because I took this to the Albuquerque City Council. And Pat Davis, on official record, actually verified that this was actually happening. But what people don't know is in 2017, APD lost 5 pounds of meth in a reverse drug sting. And then about 2 weeks ago, FBI arrested an APD officer, plain clothes, selling drugs on these streets. And what is this? And who is to say that this is still not occurring? And why we connected the thing all the way to Building Ground Group? Because this is targeted against peoples of color. And it's important. People want to silence and hush it. But it's important always to say this, my brother. Because if we do not voice this resistance into an existence, then they're going to continue to blind us and fill us with this shit.
Okay. Here, well, let's see, being the fact of both of you being in the situations that you guys are in. Okay, what is it that you suggest? Maybe we as a community can come together in some sort of fashion. Maybe you have an idea of how to make a change, or is there something is there some sort of a? Do
you want to be real about it? You want to be real about it? The first thing is abolish the police. Literally, honestly.
Okay, but no. Okay,
it is.
No. As a community,
as a community,
being the fact you are here.
That's right.
Okay.
We need to be, as we're saying this, we need to say this, and it's important, my brother. It's important to say that. Yes, because when we talk about police and we put this construct into, when we say police, we're already admitting that our society is so violent and so maligned that we need some type of corrective measure, some type of institution to govern us and do this. But we put our faith into that, and they totally abuse us and persecute us, target us, and to the depths of extinction. So abolishing the police and saying that every single time that we talk is necessary.
I think to put into context where we're at is it's important to understand the history, right? And so we have to understand that this is a country that was founded on genocide and slavery.
That's right.
Our country has never reconciled with that history. Slavery has now evolved into what is the prison industrial complex.
That's right.
And we are still dealing with those things today.
That's right.
And so that's what this looks like in modern day. When you look at Jim Crow law, what did it evolve into? Well, now we have felon status, right? So we have felons who are treated the same as black people were under Jim Crow law. We have inmates who are now being treated the same as slaves were treated. And then we also have, into more context, New Mexico is #1 in private prisons. Number one. Yes. We lead. So right now, we have about 53% of our inmates in New Mexico in private prisons, where other states only average about 8%. So New Mexico is literally in the business of incarceration. So why are these drug stings important? Because they have to keep those beds full. Because we're on 20-year-long contracts with these private industries, Geo Group and Core Civic.
And they send inmates they send inmates, New Mexico inmates out. I just linked that. They send New Mexico inmates out of state to private facilities and still fill that capacity, even though it may not be that state's own inmates in that facility.
So because New Mexico has a quota on inmates, our people are actually under attack because they have to keep those beds full. So the reason that we don't have programs, the reason that we don't have rehabilitation in our prison system here in New Mexico is because recidivism is money. It's valuable to them.
Yes.
And these are attacks on our community. All of these reverse drug stings are attacks on our community.
That's right.
This is what modern day slavery looks like. This is what it looks like when a country has not reconciled with its history. We have things on a very, very high scale going on. We have U.S. attorneys. Damon Martinez in 2016 brought 5 CIs to Albuquerque touting that he was going to attack the high crime rates. When he said he's going to attack the high crime rates, the highest crime rate in the city at that time was the San Mateo district, which is Montgomery to Candelaria and Carlisle to San Mateo. That demographic is primarily white. He didn't target that community. What he did is he brought 3 black CIs and 2 brown ones, and he brought them to Albuquerque, and he pointed them at the black and brown communities, of Albuquerque. He sent them to the barber shops. He sent them to the soul food restaurants. He sent them to the Kirk. We now know through the discovery in some of these cases that the first CI interaction happened at Juneteenth in 2016. He brought them to our events. to target our people. And so this is what targeted policing looks like. These are attacks on the community, both the black, brown, and the poor. And so we have to acknowledge what this is doing and what this looks like. And we got to call these people out. Like, we got to hold them accountable. These people are elected to office. They work for us, and we need to hold them accountable.
And to extend this now, how right now this is very critical that we get involved, is because, as Linda said, that there was this campaign that happened literally 2-3 years ago when they brought out the people got to understand, they brought out the CIs, they did the little things, they got their information, then they created a memorandum or an affidavit that gave them the initiative to go stigmatize the rest, and then that gave them the cause for as they shocked our communities, how they always do, like you called it out right there. Then they got this created.
Yes,
you know what I mean? And so, but listen, this is how they link. You got to understand how they link this here.
No,
So,
I understand.
so with this,
well, my question is what are we looking at having you here on behalf of the station as well, that we can do to resolve these issues?
Okay, so
okay, we know everyone.
I'm with you on that. All right,
worldwide is aware of these things. That's why I led it to where we're at. What is it that what you are seeking? Not just no disrespect, but what I'm saying is, okay, look, we know this. You're bringing more things to surface, and what is it that you guys are seeking that we as the community can possibly do to start helping these matters, come to the light and be accountable for?
You got that?
That's where we're looking at.
You got it?
So step one
we
is...
can't just stop the police force. I mean, I wish I could. If I could snap my fingers, they'd be fucking gone. That's just truth. We know all of those things. Everyone here knows that. I mean, it's a 50-50 scale. It's already being shown. Now people are getting tired of it. Now they're shooting back at the fucking police. But they're giving them life sentences or shooting them. Let's look at what we can do positively about the negativity.
You got this, Linda?
Then we know where to step and continue on with moving your motion, because you're in a heavy situation. And so, we're here with that platform to offer where we as the community as a whole and abroad can maybe step in it and see where your movement is going through the atrocity of what's taking place.
So Linda will drop it, and then I'll drop it after her, and then hopefully we can answer that.
We have a short little bit more time, but
it's a big topic. It's a big topic, and what we just shared with everybody is a lot. And I know that it's hard for some people to comprehend and understand that our actual government is manufacturing drugs and selling them in our community and then arresting us for it.
We know that for years.
Well, we know that. Those of us who come from the streets, who have been out in the streets, know that. There are people out here who are voters, who have never been in the streets, who come from middle class and upper class neighborhoods, who don't understand that this is a real thing that's happening. And those are the people that we're trying to wake up. We need everybody to know that this is happening, to acknowledge it. And that's the first step. The first step is knowledge and acknowledgement, and then reconciliation with what's happened. And then we have to organize for power. So we need our own people running for office. We need to call out all of the politicians who are involved in this, and we need to hold them accountable for what they've done. We need to get them out of office and put our own people there, and we need our people to start showing up and organizing for power. And so we are starting deep canvassing this year, where we're going to be going door to door in our own neighborhoods, registering people to vote. I have a bill that we're writing to pass through the legislature that's going to restore voting rights to felons and those that are behind the walls. And so the restoration of power has to happen for our people to be able to organize for power, to be able to take control of this and stop these attacks on our community. I've also been talking to congressional candidates about what they can do when they get to Congress, about how they can stop militarized police equipment from coming down to local police departments. There's no fucking reason APD needs a tank.
No,
they don't need a tank. They are not at war with our community, and we have to change the narrative. So we have to change the narrative that the police are at war with the community. That has to change, and that narrative will change if we continue to keep this pressure on and we continue to change the narrative.
And so like there's always it's appreciative in this conversation that encompasses anybody can come here and contribute to this and enhance upon this. So it's beautiful that alternative solutions can be at hand. So alternative measures that we can have immediately is actually granting moments and methods of healing, of acknowledgement in our community. So like we have events, we build like little centers that people who are experiencing whatever trauma caused by like this system or their family caught up, that they can be helped. We have, and it's not like people are like buying and purchasing. These are things like given. Like we have like,
it's about access and resources.
We have like for our youth, for like our youth, we have for our youth, like we have programs that actually really like we acknowledge these kids. And through this acknowledgement, they become empowered. So like even through like the hip hop culture, like when they look at these videos like Post Malone, I Follow Park. Some of these kids don't know how to express that they love someone and they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Right. And they get twisted out these things, but they get so lost because you don't know love and you don't know this. Okay. Well, actually they do know love. And it hurts that much that they may kill themselves or commit suicide. So we do these things like brothers and you and sisters like Celinda and other persons and we ask them to sit, look at these things and then express themselves. Like we give this moment.
So it's about restoring humanity back into our communities.
It's true restorative justice.
Bringing back access and resources to the people who need them.
Right.
So reallocating those resources so that there are programs available. Susanna dismantled the mental health system when she came into office 8 years ago.
Yeah, but it's also
to
creating different measures, though, Celinda. Like we don't have to always depend on like these Republicans and these Democrats
and that's not what I'm suggesting.
Governments, you know?
That's not what I'm suggesting. What I'm suggesting is that we all pay taxes into a government that's supposed to benefit us. That's what a democracy is.
But they
Those
don't.
resources have to come back to the people so the people can create their own resources so that they can create their own programs that work for them. So the people that are closest to the problem have the best solutions, and we need to refocus those resources on the people. And the people, allow the people to heal themselves and to create their own resources and programs that benefit them.
That will only happen if the government's not involved there. Well, that's by us.
Okay,
well, we pay taxes into a government, and that money is all collected.
We know this.
Well, that's what this affidavit tells us, right?
They won't help us.
Another piece of it is restoring hope back into our communities so that we can build that. But if our people are in office, if we start taking back our democracy and we start creating our own programs and gathering our own resources, obviously, yes, that's a step forward. But it has to be all. It has to be all of it. It can't, like, we can't just do it by ourselves because the police are still coming into our communities and attacking us. So if we don't deal with the government side of it, we can't address the whole thing. So it takes all of it. It takes you in the streets creating programs for the youth. It takes us coming in and reorganizing the government. It takes us coming in and changing the narrative of what's happening with those resources and with these government officials. So if we want to believe that we do live in a democracy, or that we desire to again, we have to take a hold of it.
We never lived in a democracy.
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I am terribly sorry. Today we are pressed for time.
Yeah.
And I hate to cut you short. You know, I'll bring you back on.
Well, we can come back.
A little bit more focused on what we're gonna do and how, and see where we're gonna go. And you already know. Then we can research some of the other things and bring that to the forefront. I'll look into some of the things and see what I can and cannot do. Maybe we could figure out some sort of organization, maybe getting more people into the community affairs, maybe some of the more city councils. Maybe we could look into those things as opposed to, you know, getting up there and burning down the White House. I mean, I understand it is where government it is. It needs to start at the top, and I'll agree with you. All the way from fucking this idiot with orange hair.
Burn that shit down.
I'll agree with you. We're not saying we're burning down the White House, but it does. I agree 100%, of course. But we could start making these other steps that are feasible and realistic to get to that top level where we have a platform.
It has to be transformed.
To knock on the door in the White House. You know, we got to start looking at what's going on with our community first before we
and we have to build the power to do so.
You know what I mean? I can't help nobody if I can't help myself. So, you know, in that effect, we got to start helping ours, and then that broadens, and then it keeps on making that ripple effect. But right now, of course, Ms. Guerrero, I will get you back on the show. We'll look into some of these things, and like I said, I'll start looking into some other things too that maybe we can get involved in, get some of the people involved in. you are more than welcome to come back. We get a couple of little bit of things there.
Yeah.
Look into some of the organizations that you're bringing about with these children. Put your little thing there. Get it ready like that, because summer is coming up. It would be a tremendous thing.
Don't
Maybe
forget
we could
Malcolm
get-
X Day.
We could get some of these other individuals up in here and get them moving and get them across the board, and maybe helping some of these children, and see where we could go by next week on the next segment that we pull. I thank once again my guest, Ms. Guerrero, and this individual, this crazy motherfucker over here. Much love and respect to you, fool. But you know what I'm saying.
So I just want to thank you for allowing us to come on your show
Thank
and
you very
have
much.
these really important
no,
conversations,
yes, more-
because there are a lot of people
They-
that are sleeping at the wheel right now who
Yes.
don't understand that these
Stimulate
things
your
are
mind.
happening.
Right. Yes.
We are
And we
infinite.
will stimulate your mind. On behalf of all of us here at Radius Radio, I'd like to thank my guest
Thanks,
appearance.
everybody,
Before we
who
bounce
tuned in
out,
to
I
watch
gotta
this today. I
let you
appreciate you
know,
holding us
Let
down.
Bills Productions presents the Southwest Comedy Showcase. Comedy show is 2 nights only, produced by Mr. Thomas Cromwell himself, Keith Breckenridge, Dave Roseman, Zach Abeta, and yours truly from the Shut Up and Talk, featuring Albion Buck D himself. It will be at the Outpost Performance Space at 210 Yale Street Southeast, Albuquerque, New Mexico, 87106, directly across from the UNM. It is May 25th and 26th of 2018. Doors open at 7 p.m. Show starts at 7:30 p.m. Tickets will sell out fast. They are $20. You can get your tickets now at callmeoz.net or No More Laughs at Hotmail. And don't forget, coming up, the one and only Lowrider Super Show 2018, Sunday, June 3rd. It will be at the Albuquerque Convention Center. It is from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. Information line is 505-433-2702. And you could also seek out the information on your website at www.newmexicosupershow.com. Be sure and you get out there. There's many great performers and a lot of different things this year. On behalf of all of us here at Radius Radio at Arrows Independent Studios in Albuquerque, New Mexico, I am Keeper of the New Mexico Legends, the host of the Rise and Grind Morning Show and the Memories and Tears Oldies and R&B Dedication Show. I would like to wish you all a very, very special day. And one more
R.I.P.
shout.
Kuali Selassie.
And one more
R.I.P.
shout out, exactly, R.I.P. to the man of the myth. Don't forget, at Daniel's funeral home this morning at 11 a.m., we will be having the services for Kuali, a good individual here in the community
love you.
as well, in the music field. We much love and respect to you.
You are infinite.
And we will be out there to show our respects to your family and to you. And much love and everything to Johnny Blaze, Mota Entertainment, Bouncer Lady D, Beans on their trip to Atlanta. Much love and respect. Have a safe trip. To Dominic DeBurse himself, or more, my brother, holler at me, okay? Dave Olivas, Karma Car Club, Swift G, Junebug, Mike Lopez, of course, Arrow, and everyone here at Radius Radio. I gotta send a special shout out to DJ Stash, who was recently involved in an auto accident and kind of took him off the speed a little bit. That's why he's walking on his hands. No, I'm just fucking around. He'll be back with us with DJ Stash, DJ Stash in the mix with Jay Flip and DJ Stash on Friday and Sunday nights. Give him a minute. He'll be back. He's doing his hair in a different way. Don't tell nobody I said that though. Don't forget, Saturday morning from 10 to 1 p.m., you can catch Speed 1 with the Morning Stretch Show. And of course, yours truly will be back tomorrow morning with the Rise and Grind Morning Show, but I will be back Sunday morning at 10 a.m. with the Memories and Tears Oldies and R&B Dedication Show. You be sure and you holler at me at 505-503-6991. And you can also email me at mixedupsounds@gmail.com. That is sounds with a Z. And send in your dedications to your loved ones. If you have someone incarcerated, you want to send someone some hate mail, anthrax, a love letter, you know, a little fucking
Tears on my pillow, angels on your pillow.
You know what I mean? Holler at your boy. I got you. Much love and respect.
Right
Have a
on.
great one.
You remember them non